Okay, so let's test the Notion image upload shortcut. Okay, so move this to the screen you want to capture with a screenshot. This will happen automatically in 5 seconds, right? We'll wait for 5 seconds. Okay, what's the name? Now let's see what it does. Okay, we have the name and description, and let's open this up. Yay, we have the image added. So that is it. Okay, friends, so let's start creating this awesome shortcut. Well, this is only a reference database, and I didn't dig deep into creating a complex template or a complex database with a lot of properties inside. Just want to show you like the essence of what do you need to know about the image uploads through Siri Shortcuts to Notion. Okay, so this is the example database I created, the image journal database. And it's got only 2 properties, which is name, the description, and context. Well, so the name, this is the 2 properties that to fill in with the ask for input actions, and inside of the page, we should have an image. If you do everything correctly, if I do everything correctly, we will have the image appended. Additionally, we can also have the image as a file or a file property near every other, or we can have it as a page cover. So let me know down in the comments below if you want to know how to upload images and also add them as the image or file properties or covers inside of each page. Okay, so this is a very basic database. Also, the thing you need to consider is you need to add a connection, which is a shortcuts integration. Your integration you created, and that integration should be able to read content and insert content, also update content. These are the bare minimum that it should do in order to have a successful image upload or successful page creation. So that's it. Last thing you should do here is you need to copy the link to this database, and it should be a database. It shouldn't be a page, because if you create, let's create a new page. We'll name it a page example, and you may have like your workspace, your main workspace home page, and you may have a lot of child database inline databases. So if you copy the link to this page, you will not have, it won't be a database ID, it will be a page ID. So in order to actually get the pages into this database, you need to copy link to view, at least to view, if it's this core database. Or if you're using some custom templates, you need to go to the databases page where all databases are stored, and you really need to copy. The main idea is to copy the core database ID, core database URL, sorry. That is it. And then you will have the successful results in the shortcuts. Okay, now let's move on to creating the shortcut. Friends, so let's start creating the shortcut. Quick disclaimer, you will be able to create the shortcut on your iPad or your iPhone too. So if I'm creating this shortcut on my Mac, it does not mean it is Mac exclusive. So stay tuned if you are not a Mac but on your iPhone. So let's get started. The first thing I will do is I will get my Notion API key from DataJar application. So this is the app I use to store all my keys for Notion, for ChatGPT, for Airtable. This is my go-to. And I will immediately set variable key for that, so it will be more accessible later on. The next thing is text field, where I will put the database ID for the Notion database I just showed you. There it is. It's the URL. So we need to get the ID quickly from this. What I'll do is I will just use my get database or page ID reusable shortcut from my kit. If you're interested in this, the link will be down below in the description. Here it is. I will set the variable dbid to this text. All right. And now we ideally like to have some sort of alert that will instruct on how to use this shortcut. So you can put some informational message as you see here. So placeholder gives you the hint that it should contain some informational message. So we'll put here, move the screen you want to capture with a screenshot. This will happen automatically in 5 seconds. So our shortcut will, its idea will be to capture the screenshots and send them directly to Notion image journal, right? So we have this. We can leave the show cancel button checkbox on, and let's move on. So if it says like this will happen automatically in 5 seconds, this means that we should put the wait action, and it should wait exactly for 5 seconds. And after we do that, guess what? We are going to take a screenshot. Take full screenshot. There's interactive option. So if we choose interactive option, we can select the window or custom. I'll choose the full screen option. We're going to take the full screenshot from my screen. Okay. After that, we'll ask ourselves for some additional information. The first being the name for the screenshot that we are going to add to the image journal, and the second one will be the description or context. Okay, I'm going to allow multiple lines. Okay, and next up is our first request. So what we need to do first is we need to create a page that we are going to append the screenshot to after. So this will be the get contents of URL. If you're already familiar with Notion API automation with shortcuts or Notion API automation in general, you know that this request is https://api.notion.com/v1/pages. So this is the whole URL. We need to go show more and choose the method. So the method for this will be post, of course, and there will be 2 or 3 headers. Let's use 3 headers, okay? It'll be authorization, and the value is bearer and key variable. Just the variable we just set for the Notion API. You can put a text field on top of that. So just this, it's optional, completely optional to have it all stored in this data jar application. Okay, and now we are adding the Notion version, and this is 2022-06-28. Okay, and the final one is content type, and the content type is application/JSON. Great. So now we've set up the headers. Let's move to the request body. We have only 2 properties to add. It's the title property and the description context property, which is essentially a rich text property. So I'm going to add, first thing first, I'm going to add a parent. The parent have database ID, and in here in value we are putting dbid variable. I'm going to untoggle it, and I'm going to add another dictionary, which will be properties. Inside we'll have 2 keys, actually 2 dictionaries. First will be name, the second one will be description/context. Okay, so the name, let's change it to dictionary as it should be. Inside you'll have array inside, will be title, inside of the title array will have a dictionary. It is an empty, not empty, but you won't be able to assign a name for it, so it's a good sign. Inside of this blank dictionary, we'll have a dictionary called text. Okay, dictionary called text, and inside of this dictionary we'll have finally our content, which is the provided input for the name. Okay, so now we are done with the name property. We can move on to the description/context property, which is the rich text, as you remember. Okay, it's a dictionary as well, and it's a very similar property to the title property. So the only thing that is different is that its array is called not title but rich text. So we're going to add this. We're going to add a dictionary and a blank dictionary inside. We're going to add a dictionary called text in this blank dictionary, and inside of a text dictionary we'll have content, and it will be this one. Okay, so everything seems right. Hopefully it is. We can actually test the shortcut right now. So it's a good practice, good habit to test the shortcut on the as early as possible. So you will have less time to think about what is actually wrong in the shortcut, what action causes the issue. So let's try it out. Okay, it will take the screenshot in 5 seconds. We'll wait for 5 seconds. Okay, the screenshot is taken, and the name, just put some random text in here, and it will ask me for if I allow to use my API key. I'll always allow that. And yeah, we have like a full full request, a full response JSON. We have a lot of key value pairs, so that essentially that means that it's a good sign. We have not a single issue. All right, so up to this point we have everything set up. Okay, and this action is good. So that means that we have our properties properly set up, the title and rich text. So if you have issues in after running the shortcut for the first time, you need to consider reviewing, double checking if you have inserted everything hierarchically correctly inside of this properties dictionary. Okay, and let's move on. So after we created the page, we basically have the foundation. We have something we can append the images to. So the next thing, the image upload process with Notion API consists of 3 requests. So the first one is the file upload creation. We're creating you can put an analogy here. We are creating the permission to append an image. And this ticket, this permission, is the ID that we will use to upload the image to the Notion server. Okay? So the next request will be the file upload. And it's a new one. I've never showed it to you because it's just Notion just updated with this feature. Okay, and it's Notion API.notion.com/v1, not v2, v1/file uploads. Okay, that's it for the URL, and the method is post. Once again, be sure to put the methods correctly, and we will have only 2 headers here. First one is authorization. Okay, and the authorization is bearer key. Okay, and the next one is Notion version. Okay, now we are putting 2022-06-28 Notion version, and that is it. So we are not actually adding any request body to this request. So it's like only its main role is to provide us with the ID that we will use in the next request, which is the request that will accept our screenshot that we have just taken. Okay, let's write out this request URL. It's https://api.notion.com/v1/file uploads. So you can basically just pick this one up, copy and paste like that, and put a slash, and then you can select a variable, and you select this contents of URL, this magic variable that's the output of our file uploads, the first initial file uploads request, not the one that is responsible for page creation, but for the file uploads. Okay, we choose that, and it will show this contextual menu, and in here we need to change the type, the data type for this magic variable to dictionary. Why do we do that? We want to have this field here to get value for some key. This key will be the ID. So as I told you earlier, we need to get the ID from this request, as it's the main role is to provide us with it. Okay, and we need to also put a slash and word send. Okay, now we're gonna untoggle it. So the method is post. Once again, it is post. So we are not using any get methods in this tutorial. The headers, what are the headers? We will put 3 headers here. So the first one is authorization, bearer, and key. Okay. The second one is Notion version 2022-06-28. Okay. Perfect. And the third key is content type. And the content type, this time, it is not application/JSON. It is multi-part / form data. Like this. So we've never used this before, and this is exclusive for the image upload. And request body, it is also an important part. So I will call this part of the video as the most important, because it's something that this step is crucial for the successful image upload. We do not use JSON request body, we use the form, because it is form here, so you can put the association here that you remind yourself that it should be not JSON. It's now form, because previously it was JSON and we really use JSON as a request body, but this time it is form. And the key here will be file, and its type is file, and value is a screenshot. Okay, and that is basically it for this action, the most important action of the shortcut, as well as this one. Okay, these work together to provide you with some result. Okay, and now it's time for utilizing this image. So we just uploaded it on the Notion server. Now we need to take advantage of this image, right? So if you do not upload any image, like if you do not put any actions after this one, like to utilize that image that you just uploaded, it will stay like for 1 hour, and then it will be archived. So ideally, you just put the action to utilize this image right away. That's what we are going to do right now. We are going to use the get contents of URL action, and it will be the append block children request. So it's https api.notion.com/v1/blocks, and /here we need to put the ID for the page we just created. So we are not using now the image upload related requests. We're using the first one that was responsible for creating a page. Okay, I'm going to use that, and once again I'm going to change the type to dictionary, and here I'm going to get value for key ID. Now we continue putting slash and writing children. Good. Now we're going to go method, and this time we're going to use patch because we are editing the newly created page, and edit is a code word for patch method. In headers, we're going to use, we can use 3 headers. So first one is authorization, of course. So it's the same as we did before. Okay. Notion version 2022-06-28. And the key is content type application/JSON. Request body will be JSON. We can change, let's try file this time, okay? Why not? We're trying different request body types in this video. So I'm going to use a text to fill out the, okay, I'm putting this right before this append block children request. So I'm putting this text. It's a JSON snippet I got directly from Notion API documentation. And here, the only thing that we should fill in is the ID. And what's the ID? The ID is this one. So the image upload main action that really actually sends the image to the Notion server. I'm going to use that, change this to dictionary, and get value for ID. And in here, we're going to change file to text. Good. So that's basically it for this shortcut. Okay, so let's test the Notion image upload shortcut. Okay, so move this to the screen you want to capture with a screenshot. This will happen automatically in 5 seconds. Right? We'll wait for 5 seconds. Okay, what's the name? I'll name it test. And description / context. This is a first screenshot. Now let's see what it does. Okay, we have the name and description, and let's open this up. Yay, we have the image added. So that is it.